This is The Healthy Healer, where true voice is your medicine. This is where we help doctors and other healers navigate through the challenging times by learning from the best minds in the healing industry. Laugh, cry, and be surprised. It's entertainment, education, and inspiration so you can continue to be the unique and amazing healer you were destined to be. Welcome to humanity. Welcome to The Healthy Healer with Dr. Fred.
Hello, listeners. It's Dr. Fred, and welcome to another edition of a short of The Healthy Healer. So this week, I had an amazingly inspiring conversation with a physician colleague of mine, Dr. Jeffrey Gladden. And Jeffrey he's gone through many different things, including creating a heart complex earlier in his career, co-founded a heart hospital. He founded a medical heart group with over 12 offices, and he has created cardiac cath labs, rapid response heart attack programs, heart arrhythmia programs, congestive heart failure programs, and has worked in outlying communities and hospitals. Nevertheless, Jeff had his own issues and really noticed that his health had deteriorated in his 50s. So he worked hard to find out what was wrong with him, because he was even being told by our colleagues not to expect very much. He was turned the corner and he was getting older, and to expect some degree of deterioration. But he didn't buy that at all, and he created a whole new philosophy about longevity and about how can I live the best life? What can I do best? And Jeff actually created a program that is allowing people to grow old with a maximum amount of vitality and a maximum amount of life force, and actually doing physical, spiritual, emotional, intellectual, and human things at a very high level, like increasing upward and exponentially as time goes on. What a truly inspiring human being, a great man, a man who's out to change the world from the ground up, who has really acquired all the skill sets necessary and all the skill sets that are being called for, far beyond what most of us think is available, on the cutting edge of creating not only longevity, but healthy longevity. He's about to turn 70 years old, and he sees himself as 27. Which with each decade of the next three representing 1 year, so it would be 28, 29, and 30, and that's how 100 turns into the next 30. So what he means by that is, at 100 years old, you should be feeling like you're approximately 30, and he is every bit as dedicated to making that happen for himself as he is for anybody who comes near him. His level of purpose and drivenness, as well as his comprehensive and decisive nature when describing what is there to both go wrong and be dealt with. So, he talks about there's an investment to make, a time and money investment to make if you're going to work with him. But that the return on investment is far beyond anything that you would ever invest in. Of course, that's your soul, that's your life, that's living a life ongoingly improving from here on in, and living a life of maximum vitality. This is a man who does high-level sports and backpacking and mountain biking, and really looks great. He's stronger now than he's ever been, and this wasn't always the case. So we were able to discuss my heart condition, and even as I say that, I didn't know I had a heart condition until earlier this year when my aorta ripped. I had a dissecting aortic aneurysm that needed emergency surgery in order for me to stay alive. Earlier this year, that's exactly what I had, was the kind of surgery, and I'm recovering, but I do ask myself, especially when faced with what Jeff's up to, like, am I actually taking the same bold steps I was taking before my surgery to stay healthy? I'm not moving quite as much as I was before, and I'm probably a little bit more careless with how I care for myself as far as like advancing. I see it that I have a glass ceiling because I have this patch on my aorta that I don't really know how to treat both aggressively and safely, meaning I don't know how to get the very best out of my body because there is a part of me that's afraid that I don't want to stress the surgical outcome such that I break something or have ever happen again like it did on that day. So he mentions that in our interview and speaks towards being able to identify genetic components and other propensities that I or anyone else who works with Jeff might be able to examine and explore, and ways to turn things around that otherwise may lead to calamity or deterioration that could have been prevented with proper attention. Jeff is centered in Dallas, and that's where my son lives, and I'm thinking about actually going down there and becoming a client of his. But in the meantime, I'm really asking myself, what does it really mean to make this shift? Am I prepared? Am I prepared? Am I ready to live a progressively improved life until I die? This is an important question because part of me has, up until now, at least since March, realized that my likelihood of dying younger than I might have died without the event has increased exponentially, at least given the statistics of allopathic medicine to this day. However, when put into the hands of someone like Jeff, it's possible my longevity could be like reinvigorated and renewed, and that I could live not only a long life, but a long, healthy, exponentially improving life each and every day and each and every year between now and when I die. And that's a compelling offer. What does it really mean to be healthy in an unhealthy world becomes another question. Like, how important is it for me to step into whatever it takes to be as healthiest as I can be, to be the healthiest man that I can be? I have to say that when this was dangled in front of me this week by Dr. Gladden, it became something I was very interested in. And we may be hearing more about Dr. Gladden and I working together, as I'm pretty sure that our theories on life and what's required to stay alive and vital are really similar and aligned with each other. So I'm hoping to rub elbows with him as a colleague and, as I said earlier, possibly or even probably become a client of his over time. So now I'm asking you, are you ready to live a progressively improved life until you die? What are some of the costs of that? What are some of the benefits of that? What are some of your concerns? And what are some of hopes and dreams that you might have already squashed that could be made available if you made the decision to do? You can answer that in the comments below, and whichever way you go, feel free to share and like this podcast. And make sure you check out the interview I had with Jeff because it was amazing. And then subscribe to the podcast, as this is how we get word out to the people who would really benefit from hearing these kind of conversations and watching Dr. Gladden go through the motions of being the healthy healer that he is. So thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you on the flip side.